Valentine's Day is that time of year when every single store and brand bands together to guilt you into buying a ton of unwanted garbage for your loved one. The basic premise being that, once upon some make-believe time, some saint or other proclaim that "Thou shalt buy shit for thine lovers, or thou shalt suffer the eternal wrath of Tinder," or something along those lines. I don't know, I don't really know the story. In any case, whether you've got a long-term partner or a short-lived crush, chances are you're probably sweating over spending all your cash on them so they don't leave you for not loving them enough to buy that silver-dipped rose they've had their eye on. Seriously though, just as like a little aside bit, what the actual fuck is this thing? I'm not sure whether this tacky piece of shit is supposed to say, "My love for you will never die," or whether this is supposed to be more like, "My love for you is like this rose, completely fucking fake and too damn expensive." I also like the idea that it actually tells you that this was a real rose which was hand-picked for its natural beauty and then dipped in silver so it incinerated alive, preserved forever in an eternal state of limbo between life and beauty and death and shit. Who fucking pays for this shit? Who thinks this is a good idea? Anyway, to help you get out of the frying pan and into the white hot flames of love this Valentine's Day, I've decided to be a little bit nice to you lovely lot. So I'm going to share my top 3, 100% guaranteed to not wind you up lonely and in your underpants, tips for nailing the best Valentine's Day with minimal effort. That means you won't have to plan much, you won't have to pay much, and you definitely won't have to do much. What I'm about to tell you is literally love secrets straight from Cupid's stash. You can think of me a bit as your love guru, so to speak. People always say that a little bit of retail therapy is good for the soul, and that might be true, but it's definitely not good for your wallet or your bank account. So I say that you should forget all the spending that's associated with Valentine's Day. And I know that is a crazy ass thought because that's literally all that's associated with Valentine's Day at this point. It's just buying shit for people that you're kind of interested in but basically just want to sleep with. But whatever your intentions, every single brand and retailer is going to be like, "Hey, you can't say love without whatever we're trying to sell to you. You can't spell love without chocolate. Chocolate is the cornerstone of a successful marriage," and all that sort of stuff. I've got a little secret for you. Love and chocolate have 3 letters the same, but one that they're missing is V, and that is a big letter in love. In fact, it's kind of a quintessential part of love because without it, you're just low. So because every Valentine's Day and in the run-up to it, we're all bombarded with just this whole retail bullshit of you should buy this, 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 buy this. Because you're bombarded with all that, everyone just sort of switches off to it and everyone just thought, just going to buy some fucking chocolate. You know, I can't think of anything else. I'm not original. I'm not creative. I don't want to have to think. So any sort of thought which goes into any gift you're buying just doesn't go into it anymore because you just think, "Oh, sure, I'll just buy this. The adverts told me it would be okay. I'm just going to buy this thing and not think at all." And then you get dumped for not giving a shit. So how you get around that is doing nice things instead of buying nice things. And that just means that you have to think of what you're going to do and then do it, and put some thought into it. But I've already said that you won't have to think much in these tips I'm giving you. So I'm going to just tell you what you do. You can argue about spending time romantically together is better than spending money on pointless things. So basically, you could steal a rose from someone's garden and ta-da! You've just handpicked the most beautiful rose you could find to give it to the most beautiful rose that would have you. You're welcome. That is some grade A, high quality, lean cuts of love advice there. Despite what I said when I was leading into this video, that was pretty much my only piece of advice which won't actually cost anything. But I guarantee that the other 2 things, they aren't going to cost much. So the first one is the benefit, the beauty, the gift of the gods that is cinema. Hollywood literally lives off of rom-coms and all that other naff, meaningless content that is designed to kill time and harbour closeness at Valentine's Day. If somebody said to you, "Hey, I've got this thing that means the person next to you will feel much closer to you. You get closer to them, and you don't have to talk to each other or pretend that the other person is not a complete bore for a good 2 hours or so." If someone came up to you and said that, you'd totally jump on that, wouldn't you? Well, Hollywood basically does that every frickin' year. Go to the cinema, buy some popcorn, you're buying something relatively cheap, and you're having that meaningful time together. And that is the spirit of Valentine's Day. Cheapness and lying and watching things. Now, as any good serial killer will tell you, the fastest way and the easiest way to the heart is through the stomach. There's only two things that are sure in life. The first is that everyone eats, and the second is that everyone poops. Now, you can't really share shit with people. Well, you can, but unless you're literally a monkey at the zoo just throwing your shit at people, it's not going to go down that well, unless you've got one of those really, really weird people who gets really turned on by shit, in which case, just reassess your fucking life. But if you're a normal person, what you can share is food, and usually, food isn't that expensive and is well tasty, so you should totally go for that. It's not expensive, you can buy loads of it. Who doesn't love good food? You can't talk with your mouth full, so you don't have to talk to them that much. You just have to occasionally look at them and be like, and indicating that this is really good food, and then you're sorted. I don't know what else you'd really need. Buy a dessert, the chocolate will do all the riling up of the spirits for you. They're basically aphrodisiacs, and then you're sorted. You have just had a fantastic Valentine's Day where you've spent time together, meaningful time connecting over your love of pizza or whatever the hell you're eating. Just remember to book in advance, because a lot of people like to go for this one. So personally, I think the cinema one is better, but actually, I think the rose one is probably the best. This is actually lowest on my list purely because everyone does this shit. So if you want to see an original, then you know what you need to do. Choose a cheesy Hollywood film and steal a rose out of someone's garden. If you're really thinking, oh, well, this rose is a bit shit because other people watched this video and got to it before me, and all the films are really, really shit and I can't even pretend to enjoy them, add in a little bit of a pizza there, add in that little bit of food, get into, I don't know, literally, you can go anywhere. You just don't go to like McDonald's or something, because that is just a massive turn off. But anything other than that, fucking gold, mate. Fucking perfect shit there. This is the best love advice you will ever receive. This is how you get in with the boys, the girls, the gender unknowns, the literally anything. Even if it's fucking dogs that you're into, even if you're like, oh, that guy dog, woof, I want them, then you could just do whatever. In fact, actually, that's probably easier, because dog food's a lot cheaper than pizza. And if the date is going especially bad, you can just let them lie down and you can slowly feed them grapes. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling the spirit of love right now. I'm feeling ready for Valentine's Day. And if you nail any of those things properly this Valentine's Day, then I 40% guarantee that you will be having a great time and building a great relationship that will definitely last at least the 5 months needed to call it a success. If you're extra lucky, you might even end up ringing a bell that isn't your own that night. Speaking of which, if you want to thank me for this indispensable love advice and get more mad insight and advice from me, you should ring my bell too. All you have to do is the stuff that I'm handily doing on the screen right now, and voila, my bell will be rung and all of the juicy things I produce and release will be gushing into your notifications and inbox every week. Now that is the real treat of this video. Now go. I want you to go share this love advice with all your mates to let me know how you get on. And if your plans are seen through as the kinda half thought out bullshit that they are, well shit, I'm not taking any blame for that. You're on your own.